Good morning, Vanderbilt, and welcome back to Morning View. I'm Sarah Corapi.
And I am Aldolfo.
For those of you that don't know, John is referencing the Bob show that happened this weekend, The Drowsy Chaperone. So, did you get a chance to see it?
I did. Sam Malik, also done from the Morning View. Nailed it.
Killed it as Aldolfo.
His hips gyrating on stage.
Made a very convincing Latin lover.
Well, he fully seduced the chaperone of the bride. That might be a greater accomplishment than just seducing the bride. Because you seduce the person who's supposed to prevent the seduction.
Yeah, that's the brilliance. There we go.
He also inquired about the cat's pajamas?
The cat's pajamas, yeah.
That's right. That was pretty good.
In his nice, fake Spanish accent. But yeah, I thought Jesse Rodriguez killed it as the Drowsy Chaperone as well. And a lot of great people coming out of that Bob show.
It was pretty awesome. I pre-gamed it, but I could still appreciate how awesome the show was.
It was almost better, drunk, really.
I mean, what are you talking about? I listened to the music, and the music was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but anyway, that's just news in my life. What's going on in the rest of the campus?
Well, I guess it turns out that 2 Vanderbilt students have actually been arrested on drug charges. Vanderbilt sophomores Simon Chung and Joshua Nwezi were arrested on Friday and charged with 3 counts each of possession with intent to distribute, culminating in a 2-month-long joint narcotics investigation between Vanderbilt University Police Department and the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department. The 2 students appeared in court on Wednesday morning for a hearing to determine whether there was probable cause to send the case to a grand jury. Judge Gail Robinson ruled in favor of the prosecution, determining that the evidence provided, namely a backpack identified as belonging to Chung containing 56 grams of marijuana, 2 grams of cocaine, 13.1 grams of MDMA, or ecstasy powder, and 276 unidentified pills constituted probable cause. In addition, after the 2 students were arrested, their rooms were searched and over $11,000 in cash was discovered between the 2 of them. MNPD officer Gueba Mustafa also testified in court that officers discovered Nwezi's phone to Chung discussing their narcotics activities. In one text that Mustafa referenced, Nwezi, a Kappa Sigma member, tells Chung to go get a pledge's keys so that they can use his car to transport the drugs. However, Judge Robinson ruled in favor of the defendants on the issue of bond, reducing it to $50,000 in total from the original $85,000 for each defendant. It's unknown at this time whether their bond has been posted. In other news, VSG narrowly passes legislation urging for greener university investments. Vanderbilt student government Wednesday night voted by a margin of 16 to 11 to approve legislation that urges Vanderbilt Office of Investments to take greater account of environmental stability into their investments. The primary portion of the resolution reads, Vanderbilt student government recommends that the Office of Investments instruct their fund managers to halt acquisition of new equities in companies that are currently exploring and developing non-renewable hydrocarbon energy sources as their primary business and begin a process of divestiture within 5 years, so long as this reallocation of investments would not result in significant harm to Vanderbilt University's endowment. The resolution also urges the Vanderbilt administration to consider making investments in companies that are developing renewable energy technologies as their primary business. So, some students are wondering what happened to CT West. When students arrived on campus in August of 2012, Carmichael Towers West, the cowboy-themed dining location on the first floor noted for its barbecue food, was missing. According to Camp Howard, the director of Vanderbilt Dining, the restaurant was permanently closed, accompanying the renovations of the New Rand Dining Center that were also finished in August. CT West was cut from dining in an effort to consolidate options into a more central location. Most of its menu items, however, are served at the Tex-Mex station in Rand, including the pulled pork sandwich and mac and cheese. The space in Towers is now used as a commissary kitchen where sandwiches, salads, and fruits are prepared for the Munchie Marts across campus, according to Howard. So now let's look at an interview that Fallon had with one of the Forbes Top 40 Under 30, a student here at Vanderbilt.
Hi, I'm here with Param Jaggi. Okay, so many of you might be wondering just who Param is. Sorry, Param, but Vanderbilt just simply isn't as clued in as we would like to think. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Param is not only a student here at Vanderbilt, but he is also an inventor and a CEO of a company that he founded. He recently was included in Forbes magazine's 30 Under 30 list. If you're not intrigued yet, then you might just want to check your pulse because chances are you're probably not breathing either. So Param, tell us about yourself.
Hey Fallon, I'm 18 years old. I'm a sophomore here at Vanderbilt, and I'm studying environmental science and economics.
Okay, cool. So, like I said earlier, you recently founded a company, Ecoviate.
Yep.
Tell us about Ecoviate.
So Ecoviate is a green tech startup. What we're trying to do is make green technologies and alternative sources of energy easy to use, disposable, and really efficient. So we're trying to bring green technologies into the mainstream.
Okay, all right. So, like, where did this idea for Ecoviate come from, I guess?
I think it came from years of doing research. I've been doing research since I was 12 or 13 years old. And I guess just doing research, I found a few, I would say, inconvenient truths about the field and places where in the market need to be addressed. So I decided to start a company this past summer to address those few problems I saw.
Right, okay, cool. So what was that journey like? I mean, founding a company at such a young age, that can't be easy. Were there many difficulties?
Yeah, there definitely were. Yeah, I mean, being very young gives me room to take risks, but there's also that side where, I mean, my passion is the science behind the technologies and not exactly the business end. So there's been obstacles trying to get the company off the ground.
Okay, all right. So it's still very new. Okay,
yeah.
We'll keep that in mind. So I guess what makes Ecoviate different from all the other environmental research companies out there right now trying to like help better the world? What makes you all different from them?
I think the main thing that sets us different is our business model. So what we're trying to do is that we're trying to make green technologies consumer friendly. And the biggest problem with green tech so far that the big oil companies and big car companies have been facing is that there's a lack of sustainability. So we basically took out the sustainability model and we're just focusing on products that are disposable and efficient. So we're running on a slightly different business model that's ever been run before. I think a good analogy is that green tech right now is where computers were about 50 years ago, where they were very bulky, didn't have much use to the average consumer.
Right.
And I believe one of the CEOs of IBM said that no consumer will ever have the need to use a computer. And I mean, obviously, he was slightly wrong.
Right. Just a tad.
Yeah. So green tech right now it's bulky to use, like a hybrid car, and it's very expensive. Like
Yes.
a hybrid car costs $50,000. Using wind energy costs more than your regular electricity coming to your house. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to be that company like Apple and Sun Microsystems were in the 80s, where they brought computers and they made PCs and made it more consumer friendly. So that's what we're trying to do with green technologies.
Okay, cool. That's actually exactly what I was thinking when you said like the computer. I was like,
Yeah.
Y'all are Apple.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the products of Ecoviate?
Right now we have two products. The first one I came up with when I was a sophomore in high school. It's a device that fits on the tailpipe of a car, and it uses algae and acid-base reduction to decrease carbon emissions. So the application for that is motor vehicles, and then also industrial factories, or pretty much anywhere where there's a carbon emission.
Cool. Yeah. That is so neat. So have a lot of people, I mean, has this really like taken off, or is it still in the baby stages? Like, what would you say?
We have a couple prototypes right now, and the patent was actually just granted this month.
Wow.
So we're looking to
So
sign
cool.
a few licensing deals, hopefully start manufacturing soon.
Right, okay. So I guess, what does the future look like for Ecoviate? I mean, it's looking pretty bright to me.
Yeah.
Do you have any like new products you're working on maybe?
Yeah, there's a few products right now that are still in the design phase, but
Right.
I can't go too much into them right now. But
I got you.
the one that we just released to the media was it's a device that harnesses wasted heat energy and wind energy from motor vehicles. So the plan is to sustain perpetual movement and energy. I mean, perpetual motion is not 100% possible, but our plan is to capture as much wasted energy as possible
Right.
and filter that back into the car battery.
Wow.
Yeah. And other than that, we have a few ideas that we're throwing around, but nothing that we've released yet. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. So Ecoviate sounds like a revolutionary company, and clearly it is, or else it wouldn't have landed you a spot on Forbes 30 Under 30 list, an honor that not many people will receive. So what was that like, being named on their list?
It was a great honor. It was, yeah. It gave validity to my data and my research that I've done. I talked about this with an NBC reporter that you know you can list many celebrities and athletes, but you only know 5 or 6 inventors from history.
Yeah.
So I mean, when Forbes came out with the list and they kind of put the stars of energy category in the spotlight, it was pretty cool to be recognized in that fashion.
Wow, that is too neat. Okay, so on a personal note, I guess, what is your favorite thing about being a CEO?
I mean, it's fun to say that I'm running a company. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes behind it, but I think the best part about being young and being a CEO is that I have room to take risks. Because I'm still a sophomore, so I still have 2.5 years left, which I can play around and take risks with my company. You know, if my company fails, I have a security net with getting my degree from Vanderbilt.
Awesome.
So,
that's really cool. Okay. So do you have any role models, I guess, that helped you out along this journey?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my parents were a big part of getting me off the ground with my research and stuff. And there were teachers along the way, but the people I look up to most are some of the biggest entrepreneurs in the Bay Area, one of which Reid Hoffman, the CEO of LinkedIn. I actually got a chance to meet him this past weekend.
Wow, that's so cool.
I was over at the Google headquarters for a conference, and luckily I got a chance to meet him and talk to him, which was a big deal because he's been one of my role models. And then also Randy Haken, who was he was one of the initial investors and CEOs of Yahoo, and he's done a lot of work to get interdisciplinary companies off the ground.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that I've looked up to, and like their mindset of running a company, because I think the biggest disparity right now is that many CEOs are running companies just for profit, and they're not actually trying to see a change in the world. And so if you think the other way around, where my first goal is to make a change in the environment, and then if money comes, it's just an added bonus. You know?
Awesome.
So
that's a great mindset to have. I really respect that. Okay, so speaking of, I guess, respect, are there any words of advice or seasoned wisdom that you can bestow upon those hoping to follow your lead?
Yeah, I would say just follow your passion, because yeah, I mean, there's a lot of distractions in our world, and if you're passionate about something, luckily I found my passion early on when I was really young, and I had years to develop my products and my research. But make sure that you're doing your work because you want to see a change, or you want to grow something, or grow as an individual, and you're not doing something for the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really enjoyed talking with you, Param. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Back to you, Trevor.
Guys, I ordered whiskey in my coffee. Oh, you thought I was joking. No, I'm never joking about that. I'm on air? I don't believe you. Oh, shoot. Hey, all right, Vanderbilt. The reason I'm trying to drink my sorrows away, being prevented at every turn by my blasted crew, doesn't understand how to wake up properly, is because I am ill. And first of all, I'd just like to come back to one other thing. Apparently, Camp Howard, I know your name now. Taking away CT West from me? I get hush puppies every day. In the basement of the building I freaking lived in. All the sloppiest food with the best, like, barbecue sauce. You can't tell me that we put it in New Rand. New Rand where the lines go on forever in a year. New Rand where you put the macaroni and cheese with the Mexican food.
Amen.
Boom, that's comfort food. You don't understand what you're doing to me. I'm ill, and you're making me ill in the head. But I digress. Vanderbilt, I have the plague. And I blame you, you know, because John Rice washes his hands. He eats his greens. And yes, he got his flu shot. But no. After several weeks of miraculously surviving the apparent epidemic sweeping through the clogged nasal passages of campus, I have come down with the gradu, the epizootis, the funk. Now, John Rice's throat is choking itself in some apparent joke against an evolutionary response to disease. I can't sleep. I just stare at the computer screen and don't do homework. Well, that's not anything new, actually. Downton Abbey's a really good show. Vanderbilt, since you deemed it necessary to sneeze on the back of my head, infect my keyboards, and breathe in my general area until you infected me, I hate you. We are now in this together, though. So here is what I found for cold remedies. Gargling salt water, number 1. This reduces swelling and relieves discomfort. 2. Prevent dehydration. This will keep your fluids thin and smooth, and warm fluids are even better. And 3. Use a vaporizer. This will soothe the swollen air passages in your throat or whatever. Don't smoke, too. Duh. All right? Take decongestants. This will reduce the nasal drip and therefore prevent throat irritation. And lastly, Vandy, soup and tea. Just pound it. It's supposed to be keeping me alive. In other news, stop breathing on me. Back to you, sir.
Well, John, I'm really sorry you're having a
Don't breathe on me.
I'm not breathing on you.
I'm a sick one now. I shouldn't breathe on you, I guess.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt infected me. And you know what it is? It's all those sorority girls, all right? You get them from all over the country, all right? They're from everywhere, all right?
Hey, but do you really want those sorority girls to go away from you, John?
No, but they do stupid things. They do stupid things. Now, listen to what they do, all right?
Yep.
They come from all over the country, you know, during winter when people get sick, and then they shove them all into a house when they're not allowed to leave for this little thing called sorority rush, which everyone loves, right? I have heard nothing but positive reviews about that whole process, right? And they can't leave that from like 9 a.m. to like 7 a.m., right, from what I'm hearing, right? And they're stuck in that same place, sharing food, lying on each other, pillow fights, all right?
I think personally John's just a little bit jealous that he wasn't in on that.
I am an awesome pillow fighter. And if I get the sickness that you guys spread, I might as well get to do a pillow fight.
That's true. That's totally fair.
Am I crazy? I don't think he's crazy.
I don't think he's crazy.
I tell myself in the mirror 70 times every morning that I'm not crazy. Not 69, not 71, 70 times.
First sign of a crazy person, denial. Anyways.
Catch-22, because what if I'm not crazy? And I don't think I am.
Other things that are crazy.
Logically imbalanced.
Let him have his moment there for a second. But
damn you sorority girls! Damn you! Your beautiful dresses, and you come in, you get each other sick. You don't go out for a week, then you all get sick, and you don't go out for weeks after that. I miss you.
All right, Mr. Bitter and Sick. Why don't you take a little rest there?
You probably don't want to touch me, I'll infect you. Just Vanderbilt!
Well, let's turn our attention to someone else who is having kind of a rough week. So everyone knows that social media is a great way to stay connected with old friends and even meet new ones. But what happens when those friends you meet don't actually exist? Well, since the release of the 2010 documentary movie entitled Catfish, internet users have been aware that the individuals they see on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms are not always who they claim to be. Some profiles are fabrications created by users to vicariously pursue friendships and romance through imaginary individuals. The latest incarnation of this catfish phenomenon came to the public's attention last week with the Manti Te'o scandal. The news broke that Te'o, a student and accomplished football player at the University of Notre Dame, had been the victim of an elaborate internet hoax. Te'o had been engaging in an online relationship with a woman named Lene Kukua, and in September of this past year he was told that Kukua had died of leukemia. It wasn't until last week that the world discovered that Kukua never existed, that instead she was a creation of a man named Renaya Tuisisoko. When the story was first released, Te'o was painted as a helpless victim who had been duped. But more recently, Te'o has admitted that he knew more about the hoax than he had been letting on. He still claims that initially he believed that Kukua was a real person, but that 2 months after her death, in December of 2012, he was contacted by a woman who claimed to be the face of Lene Kukua. In reality, a woman by the name of Diana Mira. With new information coming out every day, it's still hard to tell how much Te'o knew of the hoax while it was happening, and if he was genuinely a victim or was using it to gain public attention and sympathy. Guess we'll just have to stay tuned for what unfolds next.
I know. My make-believe girlfriends tend to leave me too, Te'o. I also sometimes wish I played for an SEC football team that can actually win national championships.
That's totally fair.
Oh well, oh well. SEC, real football, real girlfriends.
That's so, yeah, I did see that internet meme floating around somewhere. That's very true.
Awesome. It's awesome.
Well, looks like the outlook for today and for this weekend is still cold. Haven't you noticed it's been like extremely cold these past few days?
Yes.
I know I haven't. I mean, it's probably contributing to your current sick state.
No, I still blame sorority girls and Camp Howard.
Yeah, okay. Oh, camp, yeah, sure.
Camp!
CT West is what is causing everyone's immune systems to no longer function.
That's right. There was some. I mean, they put some sort of crazy hormones in that beef. So
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's totally fair.
I'm sure it was probably keeping me healthy because I never got sick till this year. And guess what's not here this year?
Yeah.
CT West.
There we go. So yeah, well, today there's a high of 37 and a low of 27, and if you ask me, like that's not very fun. And actually, I think for tomorrow as well, it's supposed to get a little icy, a little wintry mix going on. So if you're going anywhere this weekend, as I am, I'm excited. Going to a cabin tomorrow night. Woo woo. I better be careful while I'm driving though.
Going to a cabin?
Yeah, cabin in the woods. Let's hope I don't die though.
Well, it's really cold. The chainsaws will kill the pools, get started up. You'll get a head start.
Yeah.
Right, Vanderbilt, barricade yourselves in your rooms. Do not catch the sorority girl plague. All right? Hide, and run. And write to Camp Howard that CT West should be returned to me.
Totally fair. 2 things for this week, Vanderbilt.
Thank you.
If you leave this episode at anything, A, don't get sick. B, bring back CT West.
Do that. Goodbye.